Oh, some Stones for Artie. I think you actually saw this group, if I remember correctly, in Germany.
That is right. Exactly right. About a year ago.
That's right. Arthur Aidala, the great attorney.
I saw them in Shea Stadium.
Oh, you did?
I saw them during the Steel Wheels tour.
Yes, that was a big deal, that tour.
It was, but people were making fun of them back then, calling it the Steel Wheelchair tour.
I know.
But it was great. The smell of weed wafting all over the stadium, and it was Shea. It was fantastic. But listen, we wish him well. He just had his heart surgery yesterday.
Mick Jagger, yeah.
Mick Jagger, that's right. Mick Jagger, and my father just had this thing. It's not open heart surgery. What the procedure he had was to put in a stent, which is it's a very simple procedure. It's not invasive. The lucky thing about Mick Jagger was that they discovered it before he had a heart attack,
right?
Which is what my father experienced. But the procedure itself, I mean, he could leave the hospital the same day.
Oh, he can go dancing again tonight.
Not quite.
Not yet. Okay.
But he's going to be fine, and it's not. He didn't suffer a heart attack. And now he's good. The artery was blocked.
Right.
And now it's clear. They put a stent in, and they clear it. The only thing he has to do is take
blood thinners.
Right. So that it doesn't clog up again.
My dad, same thing. So Harvey Rosenberg and Senior McGurk and Mick Jagger all have that in common. But we are talking here about Artie Aidala. Joins us Friday, every single Friday, about this time. And here he is, famed defense attorney, the great guest, Arthur Aidala. Good morning, Arthur.
Artie.
Good morning, Bernie. I was with you at the Steel Wheels tour at Shea Stadium, which was awesome.
No kidding. Yeah, it was great.
And I did call into the Bernie and Sid show from Germany, going to see the Rolling Stones.
Yes, you did.
And I was sorely disappointed when I got the alert on my phone the other day that as a ticket holder to the June 17th Rolling Stones concert at the Meadowlands, that it was being postponed. I was taking my son Luca. I said, Luca, you got to see the Stones there. Keith 75, Mick 75, Charlie Watts at 77. I don't think there's going to be another tour. Like, there's all these people with these farewell tours.
Right.
I think we could actually say,
this
is the farewell tour.
No doubt. And your Rolling Stones, knew all the names, knew the ages, so Artie's a big time fan. So moments before you came on, Artie, we had Arnie Wexler on.
Listen. Let me just make something clear on your 1-year anniversary week. And I'm not going to say any names, but unlike others of your regular guests, I listen to you guys. I know that O'Reilly's on Thursdays. I know Rich Lowry's on Mondays. I know that Anthony's on Tuesdays. I'm a fan, guys. So you don't have to tell me who was on before me. I'm listening.
No, I know, but I know you're busy this morning with your wife, so I thought maybe you were doing something. But I
got it on the app, brother. I got it on the app.
Okay,
Arnie
good
Wexler
man.
Oh man.
Well, you were on.
Wexler is spectacular.
Yeah, you were on TV with Arnie last year when the Carton story first break on with Rosanna and Lori on Channel 5. Today is a day of reckoning. He's going to face the judge in about 2.5 hours. Gottlieb finally came to his senses and said, hey, my client is a compulsive gambler. Should have done that a long time ago, but for some reason he didn't. I think that was Craig's decision as well. But today's...
Wait, hold on. Since you said it and I didn't, because I didn't want to betray any confidences.
Right.
If I was betting $20, pardon the pun, but I would say that what the second part of what you said is very accurate.
No, it is. Correct.
The client has a lot to say about the strategy of the case.
Listen, there's no doubt he was hesitant to admit to that. There's no question. So let's go with that. But with all that said, what do you think now that he has admitted to all this, does that help him, hurt him? What do you think he's looking at today?
Well, the only reason why I have to be a little hesitant about what I say is, believe it, well, I'm sure you guys believe it, a lot of these federal judges listen to your show, right? And I have to appear before them. So I got to, when we're off the air, I can tell you unequivocally what my thoughts are. But it is no secret that Judge McMahon, who currently she's the chief judge of the Southern District of New York, she's very tough. She's a very tough sentencer, and she's a no-nonsense person. There are other judges who I know listen to this show who are much more open-minded and much more compassionate. And the bottom line is what Wexler was saying a few minutes ago is, some judges get it and some judges don't get it. I think all judges understand it. It's whether they want to have the compassion and the empathy to realize exactly what Arnie Wexler is saying is it's a part of the body breaks. People don't, if you came in with a broken leg with your cast on, you came in with a broken arm with your cast on, that people understand. People grasp that. But when people say you broke your brain, you broke, when Bernie is saying, well, every bet is a choice. I don't think that's I really don't think that's what happens when you're at that level. I don't think you're making a choice. I think.
Listen, I can tell you from experience, it's not the choice. You can't help it. It's not a choice.
I'm telling you, this is what some people say. I am not an addict myself. So.
But I am an addict, so I don't care what some people say. I'm telling you from experience. You're not going to find an addict say that. You're going to find somebody who's not an addict say that.
So let me ask you this, Artie. Look, if you're a meth addict, right? You're in West Virginia or New York City. You're caught in a string of armed robberies. Maybe you shot and wounded somebody. And again, defrauding people is not a victimless crime either. But does the judge take a meth addict's disease, his methamphetamine addiction, into account and mitigate, lessen the sentence for that?
25 years ago, I would say not really. Now, I would say absolutely all the time. Alternatives to incarceration for drug dealers and any kind of addicts has gone up exponentially. And if I can just a point of personal privilege. My district attorney, who was my boss, Joe Hines in Brooklyn, in 1991, 92, 93, when he was taking drug dealers in the height of crime in New York, and not drug dealers, but drug addicts, and instead of just throwing them in Rikers Island, instead of just throwing them in jail, he was putting them in drug treatment programs. People said he was out of his mind, he was soft on crime, et cetera, and now that has become the norm. Because as Americans, as we are supposed to be the greatest on the planet Earth, and we came to the realization that just warehousing these people, just throwing them in without treatment, without the skill sets to come out of prison and be fixed, we're just hurting society. So from 1990 we started this, and now, Bernie, I mean, there are so many alternatives to incarceration programs out there for people who are addicts. And going to what Dr. Wexler said about lawyers and judges not understanding this type of addiction. I didn't understand it, but when I first became a defense attorney, I can remember the guy's face. I still have the little statue of St. Jude that his wife gave me, one of my first clients, and he had lost everything. The kids' college tuition, the mortgages, everything he had gambled away. And what'd he do, Sidney? He went out on the street and started borrowing money from the loan sharks, and then he couldn't pay them back. So now they want to kill him. And they want to kill his family. So he came to me, and I had to get law enforcement involved, where he had to plead guilty. But had he not pled guilty, he was going to get killed on the street. I mean, it was such a disaster of epic proportions. And unlike unlike crack at the time, when you could just see what's going on and you could understand it, here you don't see it. It's not obvious. The guy's dressed nice. He's living a good life. You don't know that he's running to Atlantic City in the middle of the night and putting his kid's college tuition, putting his mortgage tuition all on red on the roulette wheel. It's insane.
No, it is. So 60 seconds to go, Arthur, and you're great as always. Just absolutely great. A couple of the guys in this case have already flipped, and I think at least one of them, maybe two, are already serving jail time. Folks in the Carton camp when I do speak to Craig, still feel like he's got a shot to do less than 5, even though other guys that flipped are already doing more. Is that a possibility?
I mean, anything is possible. The one thing I wouldn't understand, you just clarify me, did they present this video to the judge?
No, Phil Mushnick got his hands on it and spilled the beans, even though he says he wasn't supposed to.
I didn't know if that was a tool that Mr. Gottlieb, a unique, which would have been great.
What they're actually saying is they're actually going to release this video maybe after he goes to jail.
Right.
Yeah.
After the sentencing.
I think it's going to be very difficult for him to get anything less than whatever the cooperators get, especially in this particular courtroom. They're asking for 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she goes to the higher end of that to send a message out there.
Arthur Aidala,
I'm hoping for the best for him. Nobody deserves.
You're a good guy, Arthur, and a brilliant guy. We love you on the Bernie and Sid show, and we're completely out of time. So thank you, Arthur Aidala.
God bless you guys.
God bless you. Have a great weekend on the Bernie and Sid show, WABC.
Keep up the greatness. Keep up the greatness.
My brother, we're coming right back.